Ateret Cohanim, also Ateret Yerushalayim, is an Israeli Jewish organization with a yeshiva located in the Muslim quarter of the Old City of Jerusalem. It works for the creation of a Jewish majority in the Old City and Arab neighborhoods in East Jerusalem. History. Founded in 1978, it was originally known under the name Ateret Cohanim. After many disagreements about the nature of its activities, the organization closed and reopened as a new association called Ateret Cohanim with a yeshiva. While the activities of Ateret Cohanim focus mainly on locating Jewish assets in the Muslim quarter and transferring them into Jewish hands through legal means, the activities of Ateret Cohanim involves acquiring houses in the Muslim quarter or renting them from government companies and populating them with Jews. The association owns many buildings in the Old City, where over 80 families live. Some estimate that 1,000 Israeli Jews live in houses that Ateret Cohanim purchased in the Old City since 1978. It controls at least 7 other organizations that are not registered in Israel, but they are registered in tax shelters, like the Virgin Islands and Guernsey. The head of the association is Mati Dan. It depends heavily on donations from American Jewish businessman Irving Moskovitz and his wife Cherna Moskovitz. Land purchases. Around 2000, Ateret Cohanim and another organization, the Ir David Foundation, began to acquire land in Arab neighborhoods of East Jerusalem outside the Old City. They operate mainly in the village of Silwan and at the Beit Orot Yeshiva on the Mount of Olives. In the Old City, the yeshiva was involved in buying property from Arabs, Greeks, and Armenians. Ateret Cohanim reportedly owns more than 70 buildings in the Muslim quarter. The property includes their yeshiva, the building that houses Yeshiva Shuvu Banim, several dormitories, a museum, and about 50 apartment units. Some of the property belonged to Jews who lived in the Muslim quarter before they were driven out by pogroms in 1929 and 1936. Other properties belonged to the Greek Orthodox Church in the Christian quarter, prior to a disputed deal which involved the Patriarch Irenaeus, resulting in property's tenants in the Christian quarter being driven out. Rabbi Nissan ben Avraham is one of the notable alumni of the yeshiva. In May 2015, Ateret Cohanim reclaimed legal ownership of the old Yemenite synagogue in the 19th century Jewish Yemenite village Kfar Hashiloch neighborhood in the Jerusalem district of Silwan. The building's new residents moved into the building at approximately 100 after meeting met by Arabs throwing rocks at them. Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim. Torat Haim Yeshiva. In 1886, Rabbi Yitzchak Winograd established the Torat Haim Yeshiva on Haggai Street, facing the Temple Mount. At its peak, about 300 students from all over the world, including rabbis Tzvi Pesach Frank, Tzvi Yehuda Kook, and Aryeh Levin studied there. The ground floor of the building served as a shop selling vegetables which provided funds for the yeshiva's maintenance. In the wake of the 1936–39 Arab revolt in Palestine, the yeshiva relocated to the new city, leaving the building and its contents entrusted to an Arab watchman who faithfully preserved it until the reunification of Jerusalem in 1967. This yeshiva was the only one out of approximately 80 synagogues and study halls that was not destroyed by Jordan during the Jordanian occupation of Jerusalem. In 1967, the caretaker gave the keys to Chaim Herzog, telling him that, "The holy place watched over me more than I watched over it," during those years. Modern-day yeshiva Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim is a continuation of the former yeshiva, Torat Haim, and is located within the same building as the old yeshiva. In 1980, when Israel passed the Jerusalem Law, reunifying Jerusalem, many began praying and learning again in the old yeshiva building. In 1983, Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim began occupying the building, the first time the building was used for a yeshiva in almost 50 years. The Rosh Yeshiva is Shlomo Avina, and the yeshiva serves the 1,000 Jewish residents of the Old City, including 250 yeshiva students. There are over 1,500 graduates of the yeshiva. Yeshiva Otazmat Yerushalayim. Yeshiva Otazmat Yerushalayim is a yeshiva in the Arab neighborhoods near Herod's Gate, announced in 2014 by Ateret Cohanim. In a letter to supporters, the executive director, Daniel Uriah, announced the purchase of a property in the heart of East Jerusalem's business district on the corner of Salah ad-Din and Sultan Suleiman. The organization stated they plan to open a yeshiva named Otazmat Yerushalayim in May 2014 to celebrate the 47th year of the occupation of East Jerusalem. Local Arab business owners fear that the yeshiva will harm their businesses by bringing an inevitable increased militarization to the heart of this East Jerusalem neighborhood. Today, the yeshiva has partnered with Mechane boys from the Pre-Army Academy of Otzim in Kolach al-Aqsa. Due to the size of the yeshiva, 30 boys will attend the new yeshiva at a time. The students will learn for 1 to 2 weeks at a time and also explore and tour the Old City. American charities. American Friends of Ateret Cohanim. American Friends of Ateret Cohanim, also known as Jerusalem Chai, was founded in New York City in 1987. Jerusalem Chai is a United States not-for-profit organization, with the purpose of fundraising for Ateret Cohanim's land acquisitions in Israel. A U.S.-based non-profit organization cannot fundraise for political activities, which the land acquisitions fall under. Despite having a separate non-profit for the yeshiva fundraising, this origination is registered as educational, creating a lot of controversy. In 2012 they raised $1 million, of which $120,000 went to administrative purposes, $150,000 was spent on fundraising, and the remainder was used for programs in Israel. Jerusalem Chai is run by Shoshana Heikkand, their executive vice president, and Joseph Frager, their chairman. American Friends of Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim. American Friends of Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim is a United States not-for-profit organization, with the purpose of fundraising for Ateret Cohanim's yeshivas in Israel. They were founded in 2007 and received not-for-profit status in January 2008. Between the years of 2007 and 2011 they raised $446,014 to support Yeshivat Ateret Yerushalayim. Legal disputes. The organization has been involved in a number of legal disputes. In April 2009, members of Ateret Cohanim moved into a house in East Jerusalem over which it claimed ownership, despite a court ruling to the contrary. A spokesperson said that they had bought the property in the East Jerusalem neighborhood of Silwan. Ateret Cohanim also built Beit Yonatan, a 6-story apartment building named after Jonathan Pollard. It is currently guarded by a private organization which is now funded by the Israeli Ministry of Housing and Construction. The Supreme Court ruled the building illegal, despite the order of eviction for Beit Yonatan. It was avoided when Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkesh linked their eviction to the eviction of Palestinian families from a former synagogue prior to 1948. This delaying tactic permitted Barkesh to avoid any eviction of the settler group from Beit Yonatan.